everybody. Lance Russell for Corey Macklin and Dave Brown. And Dave, I believe we're ready to get started on another big one.
Oh, what a day today. And fans, you will notice that courtesy, a special thanks to PG-13, because of them, Scott Bowden will not be joining us today.
Huh? You like it?
Yeah.
All your fans, Scott.
Not only that, one of those situations we have talked about in recent weeks, classic matches, Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, legendary series, and another in that series occurred just a few days ago in Memphis at the Mid-South Coliseum, and we'll have some special highlights of that action.
That we're looking forward to, and I think everybody else will enjoy it too, Dave. That's great.
Not only that, live here today, USWA champion Brian Christopher, Jack Hammer with Diamond Mike. PG-13 will be here. Doug Gilbert will be along, as will the superstar Bill Dundee and the king Jerry Lawler, all here today.
And another young man that'll be coming in here in just a moment, Scott Studd, another great newcomer, and he'll be in the ring. So what do you say? Are you ready? Let's do it. Mr. Corey, let's get it underway.
Okie dokie, fellas. We're ready to go with the opening bout today on USWA Championship Wrestling. This bout is scheduled for one fall, 10-minute time limit. First introducing, says he's from every woman's dream, weighing in at 265 pounds, Reggie B. Fine, with Sweet Georgia Brown in his corner. His opponent today, a newcomer to the USWA, weighing in at 229 pounds, wrestling from Atlanta, Georgia, Scott Studd. We're ready to go. TD Steele is your referee. Back to Lance Russell and Dave Brown.
Okay, Corey, we're ready for it. Oh, yeah. Get some new material, Reggie. Don't be giving us that stuff.
That's $5,000 he paid for that. He overpaid.
Yeah.
Greatly.
About $4,994, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott Studd being inspected by referee T.D. Steele.
Now, what's Reggie doing? Standing out here at ringside. Put it there on the floor, and somebody will get it for you in just a moment there, Reggie. Wait a minute. Didn't he say 5,000 a minute ago, and then all of a sudden it became 10,000?
That's the way it is with things increasing in value. You ready, TD? Let's do it to it.
Scott Studd, we saw him for the first time last week in the USWA, and he was most impressive. Very impressive young man as he came in and got a victory here on TV last week. Let's see how he does against Reggie B. Fine. Don't overlook Reggie. He's a tough wrestler.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. This is the kind of guy who has got all the physical tools. He's got a mouth that'll lead you to believe that he can't do anything, then all of a sudden he'll kill you. We really enjoyed seeing Scott for the first time. We want to hear some more words from him. Take a listen to what Scott had to say before.
Good morning, wrestling fans. This is Scott Studd again, baby. Let me tell you, I'm glad to be here in the USWA. This is my first full week I've been here. I'll tell you something, you fans, you're the greatest out there. Everywhere we went this past week, you people welcomed me with open arms, and I thank you for it. And I tell you what, you are the best wrestling fans in the world today, and this is where the greatest competition is. That's why I'm here. Scott Studd's here to build a reputation for himself, make a name for himself, and win for the people, baby. I'm coming right for you.
Yeah. Looking forward to having the young man around quite a while. He's a dandy, and he almost had a 3 count, but he got down to 2, and Reggie kicked out of it. Reggie is capable of doing that and more.
Absolutely. You got to watch Reggie be fine. He's complaining about the fans, this and that. Scott Studd ties it up, wraps that arm up.
Sweet Georgia Brown at ringside is another one to keep your eye on, as Scott has that arm bar, turning it over and pushing down on the shoulder. Big shoulders to push on. That Reggie, he is a specimen. He's a big son of a gun. Back into the ropes, and then he goes to the midsection, pounding hard across the back. Scott Studd is a young man who was a teacher, and he is Just a young fella that's dedicated to wrestling, and he said, hey, I'm going to go for it and see what I can do. Kicks his way out as Reggie comes up, plants a foot right between the shoulders, takes one to the midsection.
Well, Scott Studd has walked into one of the toughest wrestling areas in the world, and he's acquitted himself very well in the couple of times we've seen him. In a bit of trouble now. Look out. Reggie be fine. Wow, runs right into it. Over in the turnbuckle.
Reggie plants all that bulk right on Studd and whips him back across. And this time a little late getting there as Studd is out of the way, goes up the ladder to the top turnbuckle. Reggie just got caught with that flying drop kick. A 1, a 2, 3. And the young man has a good win.
Another impressive win when you consider the level of competition here against Reggie B. Fine, who can do some damage to you. Reggie kind of got stunned, and then as he turned around, Scott Studd was right there coming off the rope, put him down and held him. That's not easy to do for the count of 1, 2, 3.
Reggie made the mistake. Studd took advantage of it. We've got more action coming up, and we'll be to it in just a moment. I'm just looking what I've got in front of me here. Diamond Mike.
The Reverend Diamond Mike, Esquire, MD, every man's nightmare and yes, every lady's dream. Now listen up and listen up good. For all you people that didn't see me on Oprah, you didn't see me on Phil Donahue, well, baby, the treat's yours today, baby. I'm here on a mission, baby. I got 3 letters for you. OPP, other people's property. That's why we're here, and the U.S. shut your filthy mouth up. Okay. Christopher, forget it, your belt's gone. Sid, forget it, your belt's gone. We're here on a mission, baby. We are the Terminators, baby. We are the Regulators. Baby, we're here, we're now, and I have one question for the people out there, all you Captain Cholesterols. I want all you colossal clumps of cholesterol with that lump of fat next to you. You call your wife, you sit up, put your mayonnaise sandwich down, wake up Grandma, throw out the cat, strap in, baby, because we're going to get ready for a ride on the wild side, baby. This is it. I've never been in a more filthy, stinking place in my life. This is nothing but a toxic wasteland out there. Hey, and the pleasure has been all yours.
Yeah. Diamond Mike doing all the talking as we get ready to go to Corey in the battle with Jack Hammer.
All right, Lancer, we're ready. 1 fall, 10-minute time limit for this next bout. 187 pounds from Memphis, Tennessee, Edrick Hines. His opponent today at a weight of 321 pounds, wrestling from the Motor City of Detroit, Michigan, here is Jack Hammer. Mr. Jack Hammer with Diamond Mike. Hey.
Diamond Mike giving Corey a rough time on the introductions there as Jack Hammer, who is about twice the size of Edrick Hines, goes to work. You got to give Edrick Hines an A for effort here today just for showing up. When you look across the ring and you see big Jack Hammer, boy, it can't look good to you this time of day.
You know, you take a guy like Hammer who has the physical tools, as we said about Reggie, and the son of a gun, you're immediately prejudiced because of the big mouth on Diamond Mike, who comes out and just runs it and flaps those gums. And what you got to do, boy, there's that short clothesline. I mean, he cut him off and hammered him down. You just, you get your prejudice in before it ever gets started, but where it has to be proven is in the middle of the ring, and Edrick Hines in there with him. Right off the surface, it doesn't look like he has much chance. And 1, 2, 3. He didn't go for the pin, Dave.
Got the 2 count, and Jack Hammer picked him up. I really despise that when wrestlers do that, when they could go ahead and get the pin, get the victory, go on. But then take a kid like Edrick Hines, who shows up here today. He didn't forfeit. He didn't step out when he looked across and saw Jack Hammer. He stayed in the ring there. And then for somebody like Hammer to treat him like that is pretty disgusting, too.
Hammer picks him up, scoops, slam, and I mean hard, too. Pounded him down on that mat. Jackhammer up to the second rope. Look out, here he comes. There's that somersault splash right on top of Edrick. 1, 2, 3. He went ahead and got it. I don't know what he thought that extra proved, the fact he had Edrick hurt and went ahead and beat him. And after picking him up when he could have had the pin before. But the winner is Jackhammer.
No doubt about it. He and Diamond Mike celebrating the victory.
We have more big action. Stay right where you are. We've got some great ones coming. We talked about it last week, Dave, how we were looking forward to it, and certainly weren't disappointed, as I think the people will see. And the mini tournament that took place in Memphis, Tennessee, that brought together the classic combination of Jerry Lawler facing Bill Dundee.
It was an unusual situation. Sid Vicious had said, if you want a shot at the belt, you got to go through this tournament to get there. And this was a first-round match, and man, what a match.
I'm telling you, the best way to let you enjoy it is to take a look at some of the highlights of the Superstar and the King.
Whoa, what a match, what a night at the Memphis Mid-South Coliseum. Bill Dundee not all that thrilled at the ending of the whole thing. It was some kind of action, though, in the match. Wow, here he comes right here. And the man is all dressed up. I want to get a couple of comments about the action from last week. Bill, looking mighty good here today. I know you're maybe not all that happy, though, with the situation.
Let me ask you a question, Dave Brown. What's wrong with this picture, son?
You look
all right,
looking
well,
pretty
I'll
good.
tell you what's wrong with it. Savile Row suit, $400 Nakoma boots, a Rolex watch. What's missing? I'll tell you what's missing. The belt. And you know why it's missing? Because Kingfish, my friend, pulled out a chain and knocked me out with it. Now, as you can see, hang on here a minute now. Who was it? I was ahead on points, Dave, right?
Well, I don't know about the points.
Brother, you know how you can vision things? You vision it, brother. And I thought, well, I'll just take Jerry Lawler out, and it'll be a snap to take Brian Christopher out. And then Big Sid Vicious, I got your number, big boy, because everybody tries to fight Sid. You can't fight Sid. He's too big. He's too strong. You got to go the distance with Sid. You got to go the 58 to 59 minutes. Let him make the mistake. Pin him 1, 2, 3. And I would have been the world's champion. I had it all in my head, brother. Kingfish, we had a wrestling match, and you hit me with a chain and knocked me out.
Well, we've just shown the videotape, and I really can't disagree with what you're saying there.
All right, well, here we go again. Look, here's another one. Well, witness is Christopher now. Now I hit, look, look, there's another one. See, he had it and hit that match. See what I mean?
Well, now, that was a little different situation here, I think.
Dave, I guess I am crying a little bit over the spilt milk because I know how the Kingfish is, but he said we was going to have a wrestling match, and I went to wrestle. There we go now.
Well, here comes the King. Maybe we can get...
Down to the nitty-gritty here, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, well, I agree. I would like to hear what Jerry has to say about the situation, because we did, in fact, see the videotape and saw what happened there at the end.
Kingfish, I thought we was going to have a wrestling match. 2 matches you brought the chain in. Knocked me out, and then I think got disqualified, right? For the chain.
I'm sort of in shock.
Me
Now,
too.
you want to know what's wrong with this picture because you're standing out here without the belt. I want to know what's wrong with this picture because I'm standing out here without the belt. Now, that is the only thing wrong with this picture. You, Bill Dundee, superstar, my friend, are the one who brought the chain into the ring. Conveniently, it didn't show that, but who had the chain?
No. What? They caught you with it twice. Frank Morrell caught you with it the second time because he was looking for it. I don't know where you got it the first time. I swear, man. We was wrestling.
What? Lance, I'm in shock. Come on, Bill, look, you're on television. discussion now. Everybody out here is watching you. How can you, well, obviously you can't stand there and say it with a straight face. You brought the chain in the ring. I fortunately got the chain away from you. And then in the second match, let's get things straight. In the second match, Brian Christopher brought the chain in the ring.
Did you bring the chain in the first match? Ask you outright.
Somebody probably, maybe I picked it up. I saw it lying in the corner. I fell out of his tights, I think. But that's about, hey, Kingfish, let's forget that one. Let's you and me have another wrestling match. They got me in the bottom of the heap, starting back up, and you're still on the top of the rung, and I got to climb all the way back up. So let's me and you have another wrestling.
I don't mind having a wrestling match with you, Bill. I'll have a wrestling match with you anytime. But don't try to stand out here and tell these people that you didn't bring the chain in the ring. Don't try to imply that I brought in a chain and then come out here and challenge me to a wrestling match. Now, if you want to go down, get in the ring, and say, hey, let's just do whatever it takes. Let's bring chains. Let's do anything it takes to win, then that's fine with me, too. Then I'll come expecting you to have a chain. But I didn't come into that match thinking that you're going to have a chain, but you did, and you might as well be man enough to stand out here and tell everybody that you brought the chain in the ring. I was just lucky enough to get the chain away from you.
Oh. Kingfish, you couldn't get the chain away from me unless you brought it. Now, all I'm asking you is, will you wrestle me again? And we'll have that little stipulation. Bring anything you want, because I want the belt just like you did 12 years ago, and I'm going to get it, brother. So that's all you need to do is just say you'll fight me, and we'll fight, big boy.
You know, I stood out here last week and I watched the video of some of our matches. And I've been the first person to admit that you were one of the toughest guys I've ever wrestled with as a partner and one of the toughest guys that I ever wrestled against as an opponent. I've always, Bill, enjoyed having you as a partner. I never enjoyed having to go against you. But as I stood and I watched those videotapes from all of those matches, they were classic matches. They were two men putting everything they had on the line, trying to prove, belts were on the side, and you know it's not about a belt, Bill. It's not about a championship. It's about you, and it's about me, and it's about egos, and it's about from the day that you set foot into Memphis, Tennessee, into this area, you always thought and you always wanted to dethrone the king, because in your mind, you were number one. You were always wanted to be the top man on the totem pole. Is that right or is that not right? That's the truth, and you know it. It's not about belts. It's always about you wanting to prove that you're better than me. And you never were quite able to get the job done, were you, Bill Dundee? Now, if you want to wrestle me anytime, any place, it's not about belts. I'll wrestle.
Let me tell you something, brother. When you get tired of fooling with a Mickey Mouse outfit up north and you want to come back to the South and fight, we will fight.
I just ought to leave right now and we'll fight right here.
I'll leave, Kingfish. I'll leave, but we will fight.
That's it, Dave. I watched those tapes, and what it was all about, when we got in the ring last week, Bill Dundee was trying to recapture the magic, and he almost did. I think the match accomplished that, but what is eating at Bill is the same thing that's eating at him all his entire career since he set foot in the USWA. He's always been just this far away from being where I am. And Bill, as long as I got anything to do about it, you will always be just this far away from being where the king is. You want to fight? Bring it on. I'll fight you anytime, pal.
Sounds like this one's a long way from over. We're going to be back right in just a couple of minutes with Brian Christopher. Stay with us.
Back on USWA Championship Wrestling with our next bout, scheduled for one fall, 10-minute time limit. First introducing 208 pounds from Memphis, Tennessee, Ken Reaper. And his opponent today, 222 pounds. Wrestling from Memphis, Tennessee, the USWA Heavyweight Champion. There he is, too sexy, Brian Christopher. referee. We're ready for this.
Okay. Journeyman trial horse Kid Raper is the opposition for Brian Christopher today. And you can tell with the reception the crowd gives him, he's a guy they really like to get behind, Christopher is. He is some tough animal, and he gets in there with determination like I really don't believe that we've seen any time recently. Touch of the hands, and Raper and Christopher are ready to go at it.
Brian Christopher has to be considered the favorite in the match, especially after the matches he had earlier this week. One night, 3 major matches, and gave a good accounting of himself in all of them, although the last one that he was in, he didn't get a victory. But he's proved himself that that he can go for a long period of time in wrestling in a single night.
Yeah, and I think one of the things coming out of that and the grueling schedule that Brian has had is that he feels like he's got a 2 out of 3 fall title match with Sid Vicious coming up, and he thinks the 2 out of beautiful move, went up with a top wrist lock, ducked down behind and took Raper right up and over and put him on the shoulders. Ken outside on the floor, and that was a good escape getting out of it. But Brian feels like that 2 out of 3 fall is going to be to his advantage, because it's true, Sid is much bigger, but Brian figures he's got to carry that extra weight all the way around through all of the falls, and when it comes down to it in the final go, he's going to be in better shape than Sid Vicious. It'll be interesting to see when that comes off, Dave.
It will, and Brian has proved that he can go 3 matches, or which might translate into 3 falls, and another, if it were a 2 out of 3 fall situation. Sid hasn't proved that, at least not recently, that that he has that kind of stamina. He's big, he's powerful, but can he go for 3 falls if necessary?
Reverse on that neck breaker as Brian turned him over and dropped him right down. I thought he was going to stretch him for a minute, but he went straight to the mat with Ken Raper, puts him back in the corner, whips him across the ring. Whoa! He busted him right upside the head, Davey.
Brian Christopher is in total control of this match. Make no mistake about it. Ken Raper rolls out of the ring now to give himself an extra up to 10 count to sort of regroup. Referee T.D. Steele tolling the count, and now Ken Raper is back through the ropes, back to the action as Brian Christopher waits for it.
That kind of a move that Brian caught him with, that Sabat kick right smack in the face, is the thing that will make a wrestler think every time he starts in on his opponent, and that's exactly what Christopher wanted to do. Raper letting it out a little, a couple into the midsection, drops with the elbow, pulls Christopher back to the ropes, and a whip misses. Christopher around behind, makes him belly to back, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful move, Brian Christopher. He is the winner, and like you say, he dominated it.
He got him, Brian Christopher, with the victory here in USWA action today, but we're not through yet.
Plenty more to go, and we'll be back to it in just a moment. Yeah. Mayhem. That's what happens every time Rich and Gilbert and PG-13 get around each other. Let's take a look at the last time. turnbuckle. Turns to come across him. 1, 2. Whoa, and Gilbert kicks out. I thought at 11:20 we had new tag champions. Doug Gilbert in, rakes the eyes. Wolfie comes after him. Now they're both up on the turnbuckles. Gilbert taken off with that high wire suplex. JC over on Tommy Rich, Wolfie on Doug Gilbert. The whip, they're together. Drop kick. Rich goes down. Gilbert hangs on to the ropes. Doug Gilbert unlaced his boot, pulled the chain out. Wolfie D backdrops him. He picks the chain up. Referee back in the ring. Gilbert had a chain that was taken by Wolfie. Tommy Rich threw Gilbert a chain. Gilbert nails Wolfie, throws it to the crowd. 1, 2, 3. They keep the belt.
Well, that's the way it was, but it's 2 on 2 this time. No Scott Bowden.
That's right, and you know why there ain't no Scott Bowden? Because J.C. Ice and Wolfie D said if you ever put your nose in our business, punk, we'll finish you off. And you did it, boy. You put that big hawk nose of yours in my business, and not even your Uncle Bobby Bowden can help you this time because you're laid up in some hospital bed watching my pretty face on this TV, boy.
But you got him again. You got Rich and Gilbert. 2 on 2, but they're still tough.
That's right. Dave, everybody knows what kind of closet champions Rich and Gilbert are. But I'd like to also inform everybody what kind of sissies they are. Because after that match, how close did we come to winning those titles back? Real close, right? Okay, we went to Eddie Marlin. We said we need a return match, Eddie. And Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich has informed Eddie Marlin that we can't have a title match. So what we did was ask for a hospital elimination match. That means the titles aren't on the line, but Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich, we can hurt you. We can hurt you real bad in this match, and that's all that matters. The things you've done to us in the past, we're not really worried about those titles right now. We're going to put you out of commission, just like Scott Bowden.
Well, it's one of those things where Rich and Gilbert had a lot of things to say about Wolfie family, all of that. There's a lot of history, but they're going to be looking for him next time around. Here's Corey with the introduction.
Okay, Dave, thank you very much, buddy. We're ready to go with this one. Tag team action, 1 fall, 10-minute time limit here. First introducing a combined weight of 677 pounds, wrestling from parts unknown, here are the Punishers. Their opponents today, a combined weight of 397 pounds, from the hood, J.C. Ice, Sir Wolfie D, PG-13. D.D. Steele, your referee. Back to buddies Lance and Dave.
Boy, look at these guys. They're huge, these
They are
Punishers.
large. And you know, Dave, I'm sitting here because we've seen it time and time again. These big guys, the Punishers, are looking across the ring and saying, what are we doing in here with these little punks? We'll squash them in a minute's time. Yeah, well, the bell has sounded, and here we go, off and running. J.C. Ice starting out. The Punisher, number 2, is the one starting. And over comes Wolfie D. Puts him down on the canvas and goes right smack after that armbar. Tag right back to JC. That's the kind of stuff these guys can do, and do it all night long.
They certainly can move quickly. They can tag in and out. They can keep the opponent off balance. And as big as this guy is, he hits the mat pretty hard. I guess the old cliche works about bigger they are. Look at that. JC almost had him down for a 3 count. Only had a 2, though. Match continues.
The Punishers facing PG-13. As Wolfie D comes off the turnbuckles down onto the Punisher. Turns the arm over. And number 1 reaching out. He changed positions to be a little closer. And Wolfie just promptly threw the other guy away from him, so he's not as close to him for a tag. That's what they've learned over the years. Just little small things like that make the difference between winning teams and losing teams. J.C. Ice takes over, wraps that arm up. They're staying right on that left arm.
Got him off his feet again. He keeps him away from the tag on his partner over in the corner, and meanwhile, PG able to move in and out of there with a quick tag. Now, that was not necessarily the smartest thing that Wolfie D did. He went after Punisher number 1, and now they're all in the ring.
Wolfie hammering his man into the turnbuckles, run the two big trains down the track, a double drop kick, double whip into the ropes as he comes off, foot to the midsection. Here they go. Hammer that head down. JC. 1, 2, 3, got him.
Well, it worked out. PG-13 with a win.
Okay, we've got more of it. Where are you going to be? Right here with us. We'll be back in a moment. We're going to be seeing Doug Gilbert in the ring in action here in just a moment. Before he gets to it, we're going to try to get him over here to get some comments in regards to the team of Rich and Gilbert and their situation with PG-13. They insulted them, said every nasty thing they could about the families, and here they are back again. Doug?
Lance, just right off the bat, let me get a little something off my chest. What is this right here I'm holding?
You're holding the tag belt.
The tag belt, 1/2 of the world tag belt. Now, see, everybody that holds world belts aren't ignorant like Sid Vicious. See, Sid Vicious, you can come out here and say what you want, and the people come to see you. But in reality, you can look, most of these people over here are morons, but they come to see Dangerous Doug Gilbert and Wildfire Tommy Rich beat PG's brains right out of their head. Now see, hey, shut up. Now see what it is, Lance Russell. There's a lot of jealousy. Everybody wants to be the big man. Now see, keep on showing those morons over there and get it back right here. Now see, it's all come down. Let's lay the belt down, Lance Russell. It's come down to hospital elimination match. What does that mean, Lance Russell? I'm sure you know, right?
That means somebody's going to the hospital for sure.
Jamie Dundee, you come out here and you run that big fat mouth like you're 300 pounds. I bet you have to run around the Shire to get wet. Wolfie D, you're so small, you go swimming in water hoses, boy. You don't mess around with big men. So what I'm saying, are you ready to pay the ultimate price? Are you ready to bleed? Do you think I'm ready to bleed?
You haven't scared them yet, Doug. Obviously, they're
all
ready.
I did, Lance Russell, was I give Wolfie D and J.C. Ice a little whipping with a belt. And not only is that going to be the end of it, Lance Russell, after blood flows like red wine, and they have to leave when one of them's gone, myself and Tommy Rich will beat the other one to death, and they will be no more PG-13. And by the way, Lance Russell, where is my opponent at right now? No, hold on, Lance Russell. I don't think there is a capable person in this building to get in the ring with Dangerous Doug. So I'll hop up on in there and get my hand raised, Lance Russell, and I'll leave.
Well, there he goes, heading to the ring. His opponent, scheduled opponent, is not here, and they're going to have to make a substitute.
Yeah, his opponent is not here.
There will be a substitute in this match with yeah. Oh, look who's out here! PG-13, Wolfie D, taking him at his word, saying you're going to scare him away. Well, go ahead. There he is. He's faced right up to him. And we've got the match underway, Dave. Unexpectedly, Wolfie D pounding on Dougie Gilbert.
Boy, didn't even have time to get the bell rung, but the match is underway. It's going. as Wolfie D came rolling out here, accepting the challenge of Doug Gilbert. And, oh, my, Doug's choking him with his vest, his warm-up vest that he had. J.C. Ice outside, leading the cheers. You see him in the background. Go, Wolfie, go, the crowd says. He reverses. Nice move.
He hit the turnbuckles, and Doug Gilbert went popping right down on his face. In the air, Wolfie slams him down. Comes off the ropes with a knee. And now who's got it? 1, 2, but Gilbert, not an easy one, kicks out.
Wolfie D, head slammed into the turnbuckle. These two right here, boy, they don't like each other, especially in an interview a couple or 3 weeks ago. Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich really, I mean, they went out of their way. They were really low in the way they insulted Wolfie D and his family.
Totally unnecessary.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Wolfie holds it against him, and should.
Wolfie caught with a reverse chin lock as Doug Gilbert leaning. One of the things, Gilbert's always complaining about the way he's treated out here and the things that are said, complaining about what Dave says and I say about him and all. Nobody has ever denied this guy has all of the wrestling ability that's required to be a top-flight star, no doubt about it. His attitude leaves a little something to be desired, and it is said right straight to it. We've said that to him personally away from the camera. Over the top rope, while T.D. Steele is over with J.C. Ice, Doug Gilbert threw Wolfie all the way over the top rope, and now he's laying down like, oh, no, it couldn't have been me.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I don't know how he got out there, referee. It was over the top rope. Had the referee seen it, that would have been a DQ, a disqualification on Doug Gilbert, but the referee did not see it. Wolfie D is going to have to find some way to get back in the ring and go against dangerous Doug Gilbert. Intercepts him on the floor.
Slammed him right into that ring post. Doug Gilbert put his shoulder right in the midsection and just drove him back like it was a blocking dummy right into that ring post. Grabs Wolfie by the hair, pulls him back in the ring, and pounds that head off the top turnbuckle. J.C. Ice having a fit over there that he can't get in. Sunset flip! Give me a 1, 2, and that's all he could get out of it.
Doug Gilbert popped Wolfie D's ears with his boots, and that's what broke it up at the count of 2. Otherwise, Wolfie D might have had the 3 count. Wolfie has really taken a beating in this one. I got to tell you, Doug Gilbert has really worked him over, throwing him over the top rope, ramming him back into the ring post.
And he just laced him with a clothesline, Dave, that would put the normal man in the hospital. Wolfie D caught in that reverse chin lock as Doug, dangerous Doug, hanging on, and Wolfie found a way to get out of it. He just held on to the head, dropped down, so that Gilbert's chin pounded right off the top of the head of Wolfie D. But look at Gilbert coming back at him.
Gilbert with that right fist, 3 or 4 of them. Now a choke. He's got his hand wrapped around Wolfie's throat. Again, continuing to try to weaken him. Time's running down. I just looked at the clock here, and we are just about out of it for this match.
Left hand. Wolfie caught with a right. He blocked one. Comes back with a right of his own. That's the thing that makes these tough street kids go, is that determination. Wolfie D misses one. Little too much in a hurry to smash Doug Gilbert. As Doug now, look, he's unwinding some of that wrapping from around his wrist. He slips it around Wolfie's throat. Jamie Dundee, our time is running down here, and we may end up with a time limit running out on it. We've got about 40 seconds to go as Doug Gilbert was choking Wolfie D. J.C. Ice wants in there so bad to get a hunk of this guy. Slam as he picked him up and buried him on the mat. Doug Gilbert going over to the ladder, climbs up those turnbuckles. Here he comes with that fist. Oh, Wolfie! Straight up in the air Lawler with both feet caught him right under the chin, Dave.
Doug took too much time, and Wolfie D took advantage. There's a big backdrop, but time has expired. Time's expired. We are out of time here.
We're going to have to take a break, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. Not a wrestling fan in the area that does not know of the infamous and famous feuds between Bill Dundee and Jerry Lawler. We got some highlights, Davey, that I think everybody's going to enjoy seeing. Ooh, I love these matches.
He almost falls down. I think if Lawler had not been in the way, Dundee would have fallen right in his face. Both of them are down. In typical Lawler-Dundee fashion, an incredible display. They just keep continuing beyond normal endurance. Lawler goes to the ropes, climbs up to that second rope. The referee counts and Lawler jumps and misses. Referee Paul Morton checking both men over.
I'll tell you, if that old cliche ever applied, that's what it's all about. And I mean, that in the world of wrestling is what it's all about, and that's what you see in the USWA. Son of a gun, we've had a good one here today. Enjoyed that little get-together with Wolfie D and Doug Gilbert. We got to get out of here. For Corey Macklin, Dave Brown, this is Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.